Hey everyone, welcome back to Sandro Says. Alex here again, and I wanted to originally today talk about the plot holes from the season 5 finale, but everyone keeps talking about this conformity gate conspiracy theory, so I have to talk about it real quick. Please leave a like on the video. I'm hoping to get 25. Alright, let's dive into it. So, if you're not aware, there's this rumor going around online that the 8th episode that we saw last week, the finale, was not actually the finale, that it's some kind of vision from Vecna. Vecna actually won, and he created this vision of what happened. I don't know exactly where this started from. I think people just started picking up breadcrumbs in the episode and making this out of nowhere, but it's gotten enough steam going. There's a lot of people diving into it with ideas, so I feel like I have to at least talk about it. So, a lot of people are noticing inconsistencies, as they're calling it, in the final episode. For example, people are saying, why are students wearing orange gowns when it seems that the school's color is primarily green? But if you go back, for instance, just to this one, if you go back to the first episode of season 4, which had the basketball pep rally and the game, it seems that orange is a pretty prominent color for Hawkins High, as they are the Tigers. So that's one that I really don't think is that big of a deal. Some people have also said, oh, Dustin's wearing a Hellfire Lives shirt, and it's gray, whereas his normal shirt is white. The normal Hellfire shirts are white. Well, the Hellfire shirts were Hellfire Club shirts. This seems to be the first of its kind Hellfire Lives shirt. However, people do say when things are out of sorts in a memory that Vecna's creating that he doesn't know the whole details of, kind of like in Holly's memory at the playground with the merry-go-round thing. It'll be gray, so his shirt was gray. Another thing that was gray, apparently the power switch in the tower, the radio tower, went from being colored to being gray. I don't know why they would change the color of that. That's one of those weird ones that I'm like, okay, maybe you're onto something here. That actually got me thinking. I went back and looked, and that is the case. Some people have said, oh, the kids, the way they're sitting at graduation, it's the way that Vecna sits. It is weird when you look at the picture and you see the video of all the kids, and they're all sitting with their hands folded in the exact same way. I know it was probably some type of direction from, the director of the episode, but it looks strange when you strange. It looks a little off when you stare at it like that. People also noticed that in the background of the final scene, or the final scene in the basement, there's a What's It board game prominently featured a few times. Now, that was a popular board game in the 80s, so that could just be the Duffers and the directors, whatever, messing with us. But, again, I just have to mention it. Now, here's the ones that I think stick out that might actually lend some credence to there being a 9th episode. Mrs. Wheeler had a very distinct scar in the first, in the graduation scene, and then later that same day, because the D&D game takes place that night, the scar is gone. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know why the scar would disappear in between. I know that could just be a plot hole editing error. That was going to be in my plot holes video, but I just have to mention it here because it does seem kind of strange for them to mess with that and leave that out. Or the editing in the show is usually pretty tight, so things like that are goofy. At the end of the episode, at the way end, when they showed the book closing, the D&D book saying Stranger Things, it shows a 21 side or whatever kind of dice you use in D&D. Sorry, I'm not that type of nerd, although I do like the idea of D&D. It's either way, it's on a 7. The die is rolled 7. That's what Will rolled on the first episode when he got captured by the Demogorgon in the game. Will goes, oh, I rolled a 7. He tells Mike, I rolled a 7. It got me. 7 was like a losing roll in this show. So I don't know why they would have it showing 7 there at the end. Again, that's kind of interesting to me. And the one that's the most interesting is that when you go to Netflix and you search either Conformity Gate or Season 5, Episode 9, it brings up Stranger Things. Now, you can type in other random words. I thought it was like, oh, maybe Stranger Things, just if you type in anything, Stranger Things comes up. Well, no. So that is pretty interesting. I tested it myself. You can test it yourself. I don't know if they would have changed it. I don't know why that would be the case, but it's something to think about. If this is happening, which I don't think there's another episode coming out, it would be crazy to have had a finale in theaters and all that build up last week to have a second finale this week, especially when there's not going to be as much. People won't have taken time out of their schedule to watch it, but maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want this to be like an old school event where it's kind of like on Netflix. It just appears. Like you didn't know when the first season was necessarily coming out. It just showed up on Netflix one day. So that would be kind of interesting. I'm dying to see if it happens. I would love in the dreamy world of worlds for nerdery. Like this would be the coolest thing ever. The fact if they could pull that off and have a second finale, and it's a nerd or pop culture or sci-fi fans' dream for something like that to happen, because it's unheard of just in the industry. And then of course every TV show will do it, but they would be the first. So those are all the breadcrumbs I have to read right now. So what do you think? Do you personally think Conformity Gate is going to happen, not going to happen, is a thing? Do you think that we're all just wasting our time here? Are the Duffers just happy that we're talking about the episode still? Is there fire where there is smoke here? So I don't know. I'm hoping for it. So let's find out. As I said, tomorrow now will be the plot holes video. And then Thursday, if there is another episode, I'll be on here talking about that. If not, I'll come up with a couple of the other things I have to knock off for this season. So anyway, talk to you in the comments. As always, please leave a like on the video, and I will see you next time.